There are two types of investors out there. The first one is that those investors who are actually doing their research, finding the stocks they want to invest into, they invest in those companies and live with it. The second type is actually basically me, who actually keep adding things to the top list of stocks they want to invest and only invest into the well-established companies who provide consistent growth all the time, historically and probably in the future as well, and who is building their dividend portfolio based on this metric. Hello everyone, Alex is here. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Today we're going to be diving into 3 top stocks I have on my watch list that I want to invest into. I keep still watching them and doing some research, and I want to share this information with all of you, so maybe you want to watch those companies as well. And these are mostly tech. Yeah, that's the companies I keep watching for the last little while, because the tech sector actually dipped a little bit recently, and I think they're gonna come back and keep going forward from this moment. I'm also going to share a couple of resources that I use to find the stocks I want to invest into or find some more information on the companies that I want to invest in. First of all, if I know the company I want to invest in, say Apple or Enbridge, right, I simply dig into their fundamentals. And the easiest way to do it is going to the website of this company and find the investor relations information. It's basically available for all the public companies out there, so you can dig into their details. It's a little biased information because, it's their own perspective how the company is going to perform, and they want to make it beautiful so people actually invest in these companies. But the actual data in there, the numbers and what's happening with the company, is actually real because they're liable when they're presenting this information. In there you can find their earning reports, financials, future growth projections, and some presentation. On the other side, if I don't know the company I want to invest into, or I want to research which companies are actually on the top of the other investors list and stuff like that, the couple of resources I use for that, things like Bar Chart, Financial Juice, Benzinga, Yahoo Finance, of course, Investopedia, or Wall Street Bets. That's one of the resources as well. And the first one on the list is going to be very well-known company and very well-known CEO of this company as well is going to be Square. And why the CEO is very well-known? Because Jack Dorsey is actually CEO of 2 companies, 2 big companies. One is Square, this one, and the other one is Twitter, which is, Twitter. Everyone knows what Twitter is. You just tweet and read other tweets and stuff like that. But the thing is that he's primarily doing the work on Square side of things and not paying a lot of attention on Twitter. This is my personal opinion. People might think different, whatever. But Square is doing pretty good. They're diversifying their business. They're moving very fast. They're changing and disrupting technology like crazy. So I'm very bullish on this company. Even though they skyrocketed recently like crazy, they're gonna be going forward even more. They're investing into crypto. They're looking in Afterpay solutions. Recently acquired a company who is into Afterpay solutions. So they're gonna compete with the Affirm. They're gonna compete with Apple. They're gonna compete with Amazon, big players. And the thing that Square is doing is actually pretty good. Their technology is on top of the list. They signed up with all the small retailers out there, the small little shops, and provide their POS solutions to them, the payment management systems and stuff like that. This is crazy company. They're innovating super fast. So I'm bullish on this company, and there are a couple, numbers I can also present that support my decision here. First of all, they had a crazy sales surge in 2020, around $9.5 billion. And some Wall Street analysts actually predict that Square can actually quadruple their sales by 2025 and go with $40 billion per year in sales. This is a crazy number for a company like this, and this will support their growth as well. Also, they've been beating their earnings per share projections like crazy in the last 4 quarters. Also, as I said, they're invested into cryptocurrency. Specifically, they bought Bitcoin, and they benefit from that, especially in the first quarter of this year where Bitcoin prices just skyrocketed like crazy. Square actually did the same. And their revenue actually jumped like crazy last quarter, around 266%. But because Bitcoin also skyrocketed in the same time, 87% of those revenue actually came from Bitcoin related tradings. Square's Bitcoin revenue actually benefit from either Bitcoin prices rising or there's more trading happening on Bitcoin side. And while Bitcoin is actually an outsized portion of their revenue, it's not necessarily a good profit solution. They only have around 8% of their total profit coming from Bitcoin. The other cool thing that happened with Square recently, as I just talked about, is that they acquired Afterpay, the company that does buy now, pay later solutions. The same that Affirm does, or just Apple also started to talk about it, adding to their platform as well, which is a huge thing going forward because customers want to buy things. They not necessarily have money for these things, but they want them and they're ready to actually pay after for that, which is a crazy deal for people. You shouldn't be in that situation where you're buying things you cannot afford, but from the business perspective, it's a huge territory. And the Square stock price actually jumped like crazy since acquisition, so the Wall Street is actually pretty happy about it because more competition drives more innovation. So we'll look what's going to happen with that. Also, there's another pretty good competitor for Square, specifically on the POS side of things. It's Lightspeed POS. So if you want to be diversified into POS solutions right now, this is another company that actually pretty good one, and you might want to watch that as well. Moving on to the next one, which is a big tech player right now as well. They just IPO'd last year, so it's a very recent addition to the stock market. We see not a lot of data for it. Okay, what's the name? The name is Snowflake. So the company provides big data solution for businesses where you can store or move your data around, and they have a good wrapper on top of it so you can easily look at it. And of course, if you go into details what they're actually doing, it's a lot more in there. And it's a crazy solution for all the companies. They keep adding more and more. They just added the marketplace to their business so you can actually use already built tools, look at the data from some UI perspective already. You don't need to build any software for it, which is crazy. And the company's actually been on a good ride since their IPO late of last year, and they're projected to get at around $590 million in sales by the end of this year. This is crazy. And some Wall Street projections are made that by 2026, that number is going to go all the way up to $6 billion per year. This is 10x from today. Just imagine, in 5 years, even less than that, 4 years. This is crazy. So this is one of the companies that you have to have on your watch list. Keep looking what they're doing, keep looking the news, what's happening. And if you start investing long term, I think this is the company that bring you a lot of money back in 10, maybe 20 years from now. Because tech is exploding, and this is one of the companies that is on top of their game in their business. They've been as well beating their earnings per share projections like crazy in the last 4 quarters. So we're pretty safe on that front. And I know you shouldn't be looking at companies that have cool ticker names like Snow, but this is one of the exceptions where this company is actually probably going to be doing really good going forward. So I'm watching it very closely, and I'm going to be investing in it as soon as I see a slight dip or some more news going to come up. And the final stock for today is going to be a big player. Everyone knows about it. Probably people even own a little bit of their hardware. You can say hardware because the car. Yeah, it's going to be Tesla. Of course, everybody knows about Tesla, about Elon Musk and what's happening, what he's doing, his spaceships in SpaceX and all that. Their electric cars, some stock market manipulation through Twitter and stuff like that. So it's very cool to look what this guy is doing and how he builds his companies. And Tesla is actually a very interesting company to look at from the investor standpoint. First, their metrics, don't look at them. Because if you look at the metrics, you should invest in this company. They're actually losing money, they're not performing well, they're not earning money and all that. They're just innovating. And innovation is huge. If you look at the companies who build their products from ground up with innovation, like Apple with their personal computers, disrupted the whole world, and now is the biggest company out there, the most expensive company on the stock market. This is crazy. Or another great example is Amazon. Who would thought that having a bookstore online would create this huge company where you can buy whatever you want online? And they also have a crazy cloud solution for businesses, period, right? So Tesla in the same boat right now. They're driving their innovation on electric cars. They also released the robot, the Tesla robot. There's going to be some AI intellect that's going to be helping out with different tasks that you don't want to do, some boring things. So the company is innovating on that front like crazy. And they also just been added to S&P 500 index, which is crazy. This is the index that drives stock market forward. This is the index in which you can invest and forget about everything else. This is the only index you want to hold in your investment portfolio and forget about investing into anything else, right? So, and if Tesla is there, it means that they believe this company is actually a long-term solution. They believe this company can drive the performance long-term as well. And that's what I believe as well. In 2020, for example, Tesla delivered $31 billion in sales. Crazy. And there are projections that by 2026, they're going to be making around $116 billion in sales. This is 3.5 times more than what they're doing right now. So the company is actually lined up for this great performance. And if they're going to be disrupting the technology and AI and electric cars and self-driving cars even more than what they're doing right now, then it's inevitable for this company to become a huge $1 trillion, even more than that, valued company on the stock market. The only concern I have for Tesla right now is that they're not making money. So it's not a profitable company. Do you care? You should. Be very safe when you invest in companies like this and do your own due diligence, do your own research before putting any money in the stock market. So the stocks I talked about today, Square, Snowflake, and Tesla, a little controversial to say the least. So I'm going to be watching them for a little while for the next month or so and only investing then. And if you're looking to add something to your portfolio right now and you're not sure what to invest into, you can watch one of my playlists there and see if there is something you like. Until then, thank you for watching. Stay safe out there. Keep investing. Keep building your dividend portfolio. Keep building your growth portfolio. And I'll see you around. All the best. Cheers. Bye.